Coming up, we're diving into the latest news and rumors surrounding the Dallas Cowboys, including the status of Trayvon Diggs. There's been a lot of confusion lately, but we're here to break it all down for you. First, some quick updates from the Cowboys roster. Brandon Cooks has been released, and we'll keep an eye on any moves through waivers during today's coverage. Plus, we'll touch on some intriguing throwback rumors involving CeeDee Lamb and the recent discipline news around George Pickens. But before we get too deep into that, a quick note for all our fans: we're currently trailing the Eagles in likes this month by about 2,500. Let's change that. Hit the like button on today's video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and make sure to tap the bell so you never miss an update. Let's show them who's boss this week. Now, let's talk Trayvon Diggs. I've noticed some mixed information going around, so let's clarify it once and for all. Diggs was placed on injured reserve on October 25th. Here's the key: IR time doesn't mean weeks on the calendar, it's based on game weeks. A player must miss 4 games before becoming eligible to return. That means Diggs will not play this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. He'll be eligible next week, potentially suiting up against the Chiefs, Lions, or Vikings. Any news suggesting he could return sooner is simply a misunderstanding. As for performance, Diggs has had a rough season. Defensive miscommunications and inconsistencies have contributed to some frustrating moments, including the 3 touchdowns he allowed. He looked strong in the first Eagles game, but that was mostly because he wasn't tested. Since then, things haven't gone as smoothly. The Cowboys organization is understandably frustrated, especially considering the investment they made in him. But there's a silver lining in the cornerback room. Savone Reeves has stepped up, and the depth chart has shifted. Kalen Carson has emerged as the new number 2 cornerback, and Reeves has earned more playing time. Essentially, the team has moved on from the starters at the beginning of the season, Elam and Diggs, at least for now. So the big question: will Trayvon Diggs actually return this season, or have we seen the last of him in a Cowboys uniform? Here's where things stand. With the tight schedule leading up to Thanksgiving, Cowboys playing Sunday and then again on Thursday, it's uncertain if Diggs will suit up the first week he's eligible. It depends on his conditioning and whether the team wants to take a cautious approach. But if Dallas is still in playoff contention in a few weeks, don't be surprised if he makes his return. That said, frustrations linger from the front office. Reports suggest he may not have fully followed his treatment plan, and the Cowboys could decide that bringing him back just isn't worth it. In that scenario, the team would likely turn its focus to the younger cornerbacks, like Savone Reeves and Kalen Carson. It's a dicey situation, and no one should assume Diggs' future is set in stone. Meanwhile, let's take a look at other players on injured reserve or the physically unable to perform list. Josh Butler, eligible, but likely won't return. Phil Mafah, also eligible, but currently a roster stash, unlikely to play unless there's a need at running back. Peyton Turner, per Todd Archer, counts toward IR usage already, making his return a bit complicated. Trevor Keegan, not returning, placed on IR to open up roster space. Jack Sanborn and Wayne Thomas could return later this season. Sanborn is eligible in Week 14 with a groin injury. Thomas, on the non-foot illness list, could be back Week 15. A Johnny Cornelius, similar to Keegan, unlikely to return this season. Todd Archer notes that the Cowboys track IR in games, not weeks. They've already used 6 of the 8 IR-designated game spots, thanks to players like Peyton Turner, Cooper Beebe, Jonathan Mingo, Kalen Carson, Malik Hooker, and Perrion Winfrey. That only leaves 2 remaining spots for other combinations, which is why the math doesn't work for a few other players returning, including Diggs, Mafah, Sanborn, or Thomas. In short, the Cowboys have some tough roster decisions coming up, and every move matters as they navigate injuries and push toward the playoffs. Before we dive into the latest roster moves, let's get a quick injury update. Unfortunately, some key players are done for the season. Miles Sanders and Robert Jones will not return this year. Sanders' recovery timeline is too long, and Jones was placed on IR before the Cowboys could even consider bringing him back. The team will have to rely on younger talent moving forward. Now, let's talk about one of the more notable recent cuts, Brandon Cooks. While some discussions online have suggested the Cowboys could just bring him back, the reality is different. Cooks, now a free agent after a mutual decision with the Saints, has had a limited impact this season. His 2-year, $13 million deal included guarantees that were removed as part of his release. From a roster and strategy standpoint, the Cowboys don't gain much by re-signing him. Jalen Tolbert has outperformed Cooks in recent seasons, with more consistent production and additional value on special teams. Here's the comparison: Brandon Cooks, 19 catches, 165 yards, 0 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert, 14 catches, 172 yards, 1 touchdown. Tolbert is younger, cheaper, and more versatile, making him a better fit as a fifth receiver. The Cowboys' fifth receiver role isn't just about catching passes, it's about helping on special teams. Tolbert does that, Cooks does not. Meanwhile, gadget players like Ryan Finley and Kevon Turpin fill other niche roles. So the takeaway: Brandon Cooks' release may have surprised some fans, but strategically, the Cowboys are focusing on youth, versatility, and maximizing the roster for both offense and special teams. Let's start with a quick debate: would you bring back Brandon Cooks? Drop an S for sign or a P for pass in the comments. Let's hear what the fans think. In other roster news, the Houston Texans recently waived running back Dameon Pierce before their Thursday night game against the Bills. Naturally, there's been chatter about adding him to the Cowboys. Given Dallas' running back situation, beyond Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue can't be activated, and Malik Davis has only been a practice squad option, it makes sense to consider him. Here's the reality: adding Pierce to the practice squad could be smart, but an active roster spot? That's more complicated. Pierce had a standout 2022 season, nearly hitting 1,000 yards with an average of 4.3 yards per carry and 4 touchdowns. But since then, his production has been inconsistent. Even in 2024, his stats were heavily skewed by 2 long runs, a 54-yarder and a 92-yarder. Without those, he averaged just 3.8 yards per carry. The Houston offensive line gets some blame, but questions remain about how much is left in the tank. For Dallas, he's a maybe practice squad option rather than a guaranteed impact player. Now, let's dive into the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens situation. Rumors have been swirling about why they were benched for the first drive against the Raiders. Some claimed curfew violations, and the wildest story suggested Lamb was seen puking at a Vegas casino at 7:30 a.m. on Monday. Obviously, that's just a meme-level rumor. Lamb addressed the media, confirming the truth. Both he and Pickens were late returning from dinner and a few drinks at the Red Rock Casino, which caused them to miss curfew. No puking, no scandal, just a minor team discipline issue. Despite that, they delivered on the field, combining for 14 catches, 210 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A throwback moment, a bit of off-field drama paired with big-time production on the field. From an NFL perspective, this is significant. Curfew violations can lead to fines or further discipline, so it's a reminder that even the smallest off-field actions are noticed. Still, Lamb handled it professionally, and the team benefited from their performance.